Hi, how's it going? My name is Glenn. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a life coach, you could say. I jumped on the program with Shay maybe about a month ago now, and I must say the accountability is really there. He doesn't give you a second. He's on your back. He wants you to improve yourself mentally and spiritually as well. Been really beneficial so far. I'm actually doing the silver package and I'm really reaping the rewards so far. It's not been long and I'm really loving it. Alright, definitely if you're on the fence, I definitely recommend it. Just go for it. Just go for it and give it your all. Definitely, if you're on the fence, I definitely recommend it. Just go for it. Just go for it and give it your all. Definitely, if you're on the fence, I definitely recommend it. Just go for it. Just go for it and give it your all.
My name is Nriagu, Sister Maria, and I just want to say the Accelerate conference today was brilliant because why? It was very diverse. We had diverse speakers with different experiences, and a lot of the information was transferable, was practical. Very sound speakers who it's not just theory, but you can see that it's from experience, it's from what they've done, it's from what they've succeeded in doing. So what they're giving you is life experiences. And actually a few of the speakers I am going to ask them for coaching for my daughters because they were that good and I'm willing to pay the money. Like somebody said, there's so much things online these days you really don't know. The wheat from the tares, the good from the bad. I didn't know them, I just found them on Eventbrite. I fancied coming out, and I said, let me just take a chance. I'm coming from Dartford, so I came through the tunnel and I came, and it was worth every second, and it was free. I can't believe it, to be honest. It was worth all my efforts, and I'm just hoping actually I may come to Dublin because it was that great, and I've always wanted to go to Dublin to do some Guinness, so you may see me there. God bless you. I can't believe it, to be honest. It was worth all my efforts, and I'm just hoping actually I may come to Dublin because it was that great, and I've always wanted to go to Dublin to do some Guinness, so you may see. Because it was that great, and I've always wanted to go to Dublin to do some Guinness, so
Hi, my name is Joshua. I attended the Impact Leadership Conference in Dublin, where I had the opportunity to listen and engage with other professionals and leaders in their fields. I was very much inspired by the success stories of every speaker at the conference, and from there I was really motivated in achieving my personal goals and growth in my career. So I reached out to Mr. Shea. I signed up for the silver package. It was a smooth process. And then I immediately started seeing the positive effect of your Best Self Yet program. The program itself is very hands-on. I mean, the online platform contains valuable information you won't really find anywhere else. The one-on-one coaching with Mr. Shea is so in-depth. For example, he was giving me tips on how to set achievable short-term and long-term goals. There are various elements or ingredients to the program that I can't really disclose. You just have to find out yourself. But it'd be very beneficial for individuals that either in different sectors, in different industries, because I was quite amazed.
Hello, I had an amazing time at Impact Conference. I wasn't really sure what to expect because my friend invited me, but I learned a lot about selling, about my personal brand, about tech, and like women empowerment and diversity, and hopefully I'll be able to apply it in my day-to-day life and in my career. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donna. I am a support worker in the Links Community Project and I'm based in Inchicore. So I attend Solid Rock Church and I heard about it through the church, and initially I put my two sons' names forward. Was never planning on going myself, but I'm really glad I did. One of my sons couldn't actually make it, and I'd put both of their names down, and I just decided that I'd go along and see what it was like. Well, to be honest with you, I didn't think I'd really enjoy it, and I also thought it was going to be a long day, but I couldn't believe how quickly it went. I think we had a break for about 15 minutes, if I'm right, and even on the break I couldn't wait to hear the next speaker. I thought it was really, really inspiring, and listening to different people's struggles and the resilience, I thought was amazing. Yes, I definitely recommend that, especially for somebody that had dreams or goals and didn't know whether to follow through or what they'd like to do next. I definitely recommend it. And for someone who was setting up their own business, I think it'd be amazing. That's why I'd actually put my sons down. One actually had his own business, and I thought, Judy, this would be great for him, give him great insight.
Thank you very much. My name is Adichie. I'm excited to be a participant at the very first edition of Impact Leadership Summit organized by Sheyi. Sheyi has been a friend all the way back in Nigeria. So we met again in the UK, and then when he told me about this conference, I decided to come. Why? Because I saw the long list of some of my admired mentors on the list, and I decided that, okay, let me just take our time to be here. But surely it was mind-blowing. Every session was power-packed. Every session was loaded to the teeth. It delivered more than... In fact, the conference is priceless. That's just the conclusion. We're blown away by session after session after session. Dupe, wow. Mohammed, fantastic. Fiona, beautiful story. You need to listen to these guys. And then if there's a premium price on this, I think you should rush out there and pay for it. Sheyi, once again, thank you so much for this privilege to attend this conference. We look forward to attending more and more. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy, and I found out about the Acceleration Conference in church. I was very overwhelmed, for me personally, because I've been very unfamiliar with the whole business side of life. I've never really had the courage to ask questions. I've never really had the courage to meet new people and find out different things. So I was so overwhelmed with the amount of wisdom and knowledge that was poured out through the conference. I thought everybody that was speaking was so experienced, and I thank them so much for sharing what they had gone through to give encouragement to people that are studying in their studies or that are trying to run businesses. The one thing that stood out for me especially, I would say, is the connection side of everything. I think that's the main reason why I would encourage people to be a part of this whole movement. Is such a good opportunity to get to know people that can give you advice, people that already have the experience, so you're not just isolated on your own, so you're not just going through this journey and making the same mistakes that somebody else has made, that they can already give you the knowledge and the wisdom how to avoid certain things and how to move in the right direction. I think that was the biggest thing that stood out for me, and the encouragement. With everybody speaking, everyone was so encouraging in the way that they were saying things, that even though things may not always be easy, things may be hard a lot of the time, but if you have the will, if you have that thing and you're able to identify that thing that you know that will keep you strong, no matter where you are in your journey, and whether you're studying, whether you're in a new occupation, whether you're in a new aspect of your career and you're kind of like not really sure what your next step should be, or maybe you're thinking, oh, I should opt out of this. It's like if you have that thing that's keeping your willpower inside of you, then it keeps you motivated, it keeps you pushing even when you don't feel like pushing. But yeah, that's what I took from the conference. I was really blessed by it. I was really, really blessed by it.
My name's Ashaya Bristol. I'm based in Dublin, and I attended the leadership conference. I think it was about a month or two ago. I found it really inspiring. There was a really good selection of leaders, female black leaders, which I thought was the most interesting, in really powerful positions, who told their stories and really connected with the audience. I really enjoyed it. It really encouraged me to take a step forward in terms of running my own business and moving forward in my career. And I would highly recommend at least going along, seeing what it's all about, listening and networking with other people, and just having that time for yourself.
Hi, I would love to give a review of the amazing Chimamanda. He is extraordinary. He has helped me to reach profitable growth in my business and took my business to another higher level. Working with him, he gave me so much clarity, and I truly appreciate what he has done for me. He gave me the key to bring my business to a higher level so that I could reach out to my clients and reach that profitable growth in my business. His energy and his true opening heart, he's amazing. And I just want to say thank you so much for all that you have done for me. And I highly recommend anyone who is looking to, reach out so that they could connect with their clients and literally become that best version of themselves so that they can connect with their clients and bring out that best version of themselves, because he is extraordinary. And I just want to say thank you so much for all that you have done for me and my business. And if anybody is looking for a coach to bring their business to a higher level so that they can make that impact and reach out to their clients and reach profitable growth, I highly recommend you to work with him. He is extraordinary. So thank you very much, Chimamanda, and namaste.
Hello everyone, it's a great privilege and pleasure to be recording this feedback after a great session with Seyi Agbede of Taysay Consults. I had this session after enjoying the Impact Leadership Conference. It was indeed impactful, insightful, And it opened up my views and my sight to a whole lot of things around my life. I then had this one-on-one session with Seyi Agbede himself, and I must say that at the end of it all, I could summarize to say, indeed, having to speak puts life into a lot of things that we think. And so I would recommend that everyone interested enjoy these sorts of sessions, as they help you to put flesh and life to all of those plans, purposes that we have for ourselves, even as we go along in life. It's very important for us to think these purposes, but what is more critical is to bring them to life. If we think them, if we dream them, and we don't execute them, then we don't get blessed, and we don't get to bless our world. The session was interesting, it was enlightening, and wisdom comes across all as we desire it. And just as I said earlier, I would recommend that everyone interested enjoys these sorts of sessions. It will help you a lot. It would also cause you to think through, and as you pen down and speak, you begin to take action towards a more enviable future. Thank you, and I wish Seyi Agbede and the team greater success, even as they impact on lives. And I would always continue to participate in their sessions as much as I can. Once again, thank you, God bless you, and all the best.
Good day everyone, this is Pranesh Jagannath from Durban, South Africa. You know, they say, first impressions make a lasting impression. Seyi Agbede is the person that makes a lasting impression to all those who come in contact with him. Be your best self yet. He epitomizes that. If one is looking at leadership, where else can you draw such compassion, such eagerness from a gentleman who's unselfish, focused, and ready to share? So, I really commend you on the remarkable job that you do. Either as an author, or as a convener, or as a leadership trainer, a coach, you seem to have it all, sir. You are an example of what the youth should be like. You are a proud son of the African soil, and my association with you is nothing but highly commendable. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to learning a lot from you. Age does not matter. Thank you.
right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on what part of the world it is that you are joining me from. My name is Sheyagbere. If you're meeting me for the very first time, I am a leadership growth expert and a learning and development specialist. I help individuals and organizations to discover clarity and become the very, very best versions of themselves through coaching and training interventions. This is one of the several interventions it is that we offer. And we will be having a wonderful, wonderful speaker joining us today. I'll be bringing her up very, very shortly. Now, if you want to go ahead and invite all the people that should be on this conference with us, please go ahead and do that, because we are in for a wonderful, wonderful time today. Now, I'll bring up our guest very, very shortly, but just before we do that, just so you have an idea of who it is that is speaking with us today, I will play her short profile, her video profile, just so you know who it is that we're talking about, and then afterwards, I'll bring up our guests to join us. Stick around, and I'll be with you shortly. Now, right now, we are streaming on multiple platforms. We're streaming on LinkedIn right now. We're streaming on Facebook, and we are also streaming on YouTube. In the course of the conversations, if you have any questions, any comments, and all of that, just drop them in the chat. I will try as much as possible to look through all the comments and chats that are coming through all the multiple platforms. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and watch the profile of the speaker that I am bringing up, and I will see you right afterwards. Bye-bye for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar. Mary Ijeoma Nriagu, a passionate and dedicated graduate learning facilitator and PhD student in English, is here to enlighten us with her profound insights and expertise on a topic that resonates with us all, the PCR of life, hacks for creating the life of your dreams. Mary's intellectual prowess has garnered recognition and acclaim within the scholarly community. Her essay titled Racism in Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Americanah, a critical discourse analysis, has recently been published in an international journal, illuminating the profound themes found in Adichie's renowned work. While Mary's areas of interest are intrinsically woven around racism, immigration, and gender, she also ventures into the intricate complexities of the African American and American literary landscape. As an engaging speaker and passionate advocate for social justice, Mary brings a fresh perspective to the table. Her thought-provoking analyses challenge conventional narratives, compelling us to critically examine our own assumptions and biases. Prepare to be inspired and equipped with the tools to unlock your full potential and manifest the life you've always envisioned. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Mary Ijeoma Nriagu.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mary Ijeoma. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time to have you with us. Now, I know we've just gone through your video profile, but it would be nice to know exactly who you are, hear from like what they say the horse's mouth. So please talk to us. Who exactly is Mary Ijeoma Nriagu? Talk to us about that.
Okay, Mary Ijeoma Nriagu is from Anambra State. Married to Mr. Nonso Nriagu. My last name, my former last name used to be Ijeoma. I'm family of 8, 5 girls, 3 boys. In the year 2015, from the Department of English Studies, and ever since then, I've been teaching in secondary school in Enugu before I relocated to the US last year for my PhD program. The last 2 studies I had before leaving Nigeria was basically from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, where I had a post-degree diploma in education. And then I was at University of Ibadan, where I was studying for a master's degree in English literature. But the strike was on, so I couldn't complete the programs. So the US, a graduate assistant, worked with Joy Studies Journal, where we public works of Ulysses. And then presently, I'm working at the Writing Center, Fordham Writing Center. That's where I'm working in the summer. So that's
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. So, you've talked about who Ijeoma is and all of that. So the question will be, I mean, what you're doing right now, you're kind of playing in the education space and stuff like that. Have you always wanted to work in that space, or did you just find yourself somehow you landed in that space, or what was the story like? Was there an epiphany? Somewhat, I mean, you woke up one morning and a voice spoke loudly to you and said, "This is what it is that you should do." Talk to us about how did you settle for what it is that you're doing now.
I don't think a voice. I didn't just wake up one morning and a voice spoke to me about it. Because while I was growing up as a young girl, I usually gather small children and I teach them. And that's basically what I used to do. But before going into the education sector or before going into the university, I'd wanted to be a lawyer. But I wasn't offered law, so I was offered English. So I just picked it up and I went for the English. And I've always been passionate about teaching. Why, as an undergraduate, I taught, I created a tutorial, like my colleagues and some of them come to my house, I teach and express myself or whatever I have learned so far in class. So in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been in the education sector. So I've been a teacher all my life before coming to the US. So it's something I love doing. So it's not just I woke up someday and then decided to jump at it. No, it's something I love doing. And that's why I also went further to have a post-degree diploma in education, because basically I had English, a bachelor's of arts, not education. So I wanted to be a trained teacher. So that paved a larger room for me. And I think that's it.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, I think this is our cue to go into what it is that we'll be talking about today. So, the title of what I'm talking about today is The PCR of Life: Hacks for Creating the Life of Your Dreams. Now, please talk to us. What inspired you to come up with this topic, the PCR of life? What is that all about? For the person that is hearing this for the very first time in their entire lives, what is the PCR type of PCR life, and what motivated or inspired you to come up with that?
Yeah, what actually inspired me to come up with that, the PCR of life, let me briefly talk about what they stand for. P is passion, and then you have consistency, and then you have resilience. The R stands for resilience. And so if you merge these three things, these three factors together, or these three things together, you will discover that in every life, in everything you do, you need these three things to thrive. If you must thrive, if you must be good at what you're doing, you need to be passionate about it. If you're not passionate about what you're doing currently, if there's no passion, I don't think you'll be consistent at it. But if you are passionate about it, when you are faced with trials, when you are faced with tribulations, when you are faced with hardships, when you are faced with regrets, what keeps you going is because you're passionate about it. And then you become resilient in that particular field or in that particular thing. I give an instance. When I was teaching in Nigeria, it wasn't like I was receiving something so great, or it wasn't like it was going on well, because if you know what it is to be a teacher in Nigeria and in a private school at that, you know that most times the teachers are usually looked down on. They are always given all kinds of treatment that are not really worth it. But because of the passion I have for this particular field, it's actually endeared me more to be focused at that, and then to actually aspire for what I really want to be, because this is who I want to be. I want to lecture, I want to be a professor. And so it didn't stop me because of those things, those bad experiences I had, because I'm still passionate about this thing or this particular field where I found myself. And that's what is sustaining me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It's very interesting to hear your own personal story. So, could you please provide sort of some practical tips or strategies for incorporating, like we've talked about, the passion, the consistency, and the resilience in our daily lives to manifest the kind of life, the life of our dreams? Can you give us some of those practical tips, please?
Yeah, I think one of the practical tips the one has to, this thing is what I want to do in my life. If I don't do this, I'm not going to do any other thing. If I don't get it right, there is no going back. And that will stick to you. I'll give a very good instance. Before I got this fully funded PhD program I'm doing in the US, I have been applying for scholarships like for like 6 straight years from 2000 in the US. I've never tried the US. I've always tried the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship and then Erasmus German Scholarship. These were the two scholarships I had tried. And in those 4 years I tried the scholarships, I was offered the reserved seats for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. I had some schools that offered me partial scholarship. And then for Erasmus, I've always been offered reserved seats. I never got a rejection, but I was always offered reserved seats. But then I know what I wanted. I know what I want for myself. So because one, there is no money to sustain all of these things. So I just kept the focus on that this is what I want. And last year, 2021, December slash January 2022, I tried the US for the first time. Tried about 7 schools. In the midst of these things, I was writing exams for my MA program at UI. I was writing exams. But I didn't allow those times of sleepless night to dissuade me from doing this thing. I kept on doing it. So you just have to be consistent about this thing. There's no magic. You can just get it like that. It doesn't work. If it takes you 6 years, if it takes you 10 years to get to that place, you keep doing it till you get there. You don't just dissuade yourself or get dejected because you feel that you're rejected. No, you just need one single yes for all your dreams, all the aspirations to be actualized. And so that's the thing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And like you've talked about your own experience there, you had several obstacles, but you were able to overcome some of these things. So in your opinion, what are some of the common obstacles that people face? Because the truth is, we'll face obstacles in life. What are some of these common obstacles that people face when they are trying to create the life of their dreams? And how can you recommend we can overcome these obstacles? Because we will always come across these obstacles. So what are the common obstacles you can think of? And then what are the possible ways you would recommend that we can overcome these obstacles?
I think one of the commonest obstacles people face, one of them is financial independence, financial capability. That's one of the foremost because most people don't have the money, they don't have the resources, even to get a laptop, even to get a phone, even to get data in Nigeria. You know how hard these things can be for people. And so I think finances is one, your financial ability is one. If you're able to get something doing, it might not be something so great to sort out this to make yourself a bit financially independent. For me, who resigned from where I used to work before I went to the University of Ibadan to have my master's, it wasn't easy for me. For the 1 year I left the place I used to work because I got tired of the job and I decided to go for my master. It wasn't easy. So challenges. And another way to curb search is you trying to find something to do. There are various avenues you can use to substitute or you can use to alleviate all of these problems you encounter in your daily activities. Some people, there are platforms like Upwork. You can work there. You can get a lot of stuff. I did work on Upwork. I work on APEN while I was out of job. I was also selling, I was drop shipping. I was drop shipping as when I was out of work because I needed something to sustain me. Even if I have these dreams, even if I have these goals, you need to sustain these goals. You need to sustain your passion. So you need to create a manageable wealth at a point in time in your life. So if you're suffering, because people will say, oh, how are you going to get money to apply for these things, to apply for these programs, or to do whatever you want to do? You need to create an avenue that can give you a little source of income at that particular point in time that you would use to elevate such scenario. If finances that financial aspect of it are taken care of, the other things has to do with you, your own personal interest. Do you really want this thing for yourself? It might not be you pursuing a scholarship or PhD program or master's or fully funded program. What you're doing in your right away, your career, are you prospering in your career? Is that really what you love doing? If it is what you love doing, you keep doing it. You keep doing it. With time, you can become a boss of yourself. You can decide to create wealth and be an employer of labor, regardless of the challenges, because you must have saved. So one thing I know is finances, you just need to find a way to augment all of these things. And then your personal interest, that's where your own personal interest comes in. And some of these challenges that you have, like you being able to manage your time, because we live in a tech savvy world where people just stick to social media and then they read a lot of stuff that are of no benefits to them. It's not going to bring money into their purses. They keep staying there, but they're not doing something tangible. You have to read all of the things that needs to those things that need to give you put you in the right direction. Read them up.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. That's very impressive. Now, like you rightly said, one of the most important ones is the financial challenges that a number of people get to face. And you've told us how we can go around those things. Now, we know you're an academic, you're into the academics, and one of the areas that you work in is in terms of racism, immigration, and gender, and all of that. So just wanted to find out, how does the PCR approach you've just talked about intersect with themes like racism, immigration, gender inequality, and stuff like that? Are there any connections or lessons that we can draw from these areas? And would you be able to share some of these connections with us?
Yeah. Actually, I thrive more in the things I'm passionate about. As an undergraduate, I did a research in racism and immigration on Chimamanda's Ngozi Adichie's Americanah. And even before then, I've always I always speak for women. I'm gender sensitive. And so these are the things that make me thrive. So if these things I'm interested in them, so I'm passionate about them. And so each time I find myself I find I've written a lot of articles on Edit Edition magazine about women, gender, and society that have been published. I have one written on domestic violence. I have one written on Nobody Likes Woman by a particular music by Simi Ogunleye, I think that's the full name, Simi, the popular Nigerian Afro star. So I am actually interested in this thing. So because I'm interested in this thing, I thrive more. I don't need to think about how to pull them down because I know how it's going on out there. I've seen people who are being subjected, who are being violated, women especially. Some men can be also, but because of my interest and my passion about them, so I put them into writing. So that's how I'm able to marry them. And here in America, at Fordham University, I'm currently researching on racism, immigration, and gender. So I haven't departed from that track that I started off in 2015 when I was in Nigeria at Adichie University. I'm still on track because all my seminar papers I've written recently are basically on race and some on gender. So it's my passion that is making me to stick to that area of specialization. So I keep my focus around that area, and it's thriving because it's like well, that's it. Exactly. I think I'm so much drawn to Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who is also from Nigeria and in Aba, in Nigeria. I'm drawn to her because of how passionate she's about women, not just women, how she's passionate about an equitable society, a society where everyone can thrive, regardless of who you are, where you're from. These are the things I see in her writings each time I read her novels. I've read not even almost. I've read all her novels because I'm kind of intrigued with the kind of person she is. She's disconstructing ideas that have lived. Those ideas have lived long time ago, like a long age ideas. She's disconstructed and making people, making women to see, okay, we can thrive in this society. We can actually speak and to be heard. Another person I'm also so inclined with is Toni Morrison. She's an African American writer. I've read a couple of her works, and in her works, you could see how passionate this woman is when it comes to women, when it comes to racism. You could see how passionate she's about disconstructed ideas that people feel that, okay, the blacks are lesser beings, you know, the blacks, the whites do not like the blacks are subjected, they are relegated to the background even in the American society. You could see it in her writing. You could even see her personal experience where she even tries to write about people who have experienced these things, like core examples, like you could read and you could relate to them. Like when I came to, because I'm beginning to experience some of those things. So it's not like she's trying to create something that is out of vague. So these things, these women are the people that I personally kind of align my goal, what I enjoy doing. In my own personal case, I think for now, the biggest thing I've ever achieved so far is coming to the US to do a PhD program. Within the shortest period of time that I did apply for this for this particular program with a BA, because I'm not doing this master's this PhD program with a master's degree. I'm doing it with just my bachelor's of art degree, and so it's like a big deal for me because I feel that it's like one of the topmost things I've ever done, and also having my daughter, my baby, it's like a big achievement for me. At my age, I could say I'm balancing my career, my academic pursuit, my family. So it's something I'm trying to juxtapose in between. So it's a big deal for me.
All right. Thank you very, very much. And for those that are watching right now,
I just feel they are determined and
all right, thank you. So for those that are watching right now, we sincerely apologize. We had some technical glitch. I know my audio was lost for a couple of minutes there, but it's back up. Everything is working fine now. So thank you for those that reached out to me to let me know that. Okay, so thank you very much, Mrs. Mary. Now, one of the things that we struggle with a lot is motivation. So how can individuals maintain their motivation and momentum when faced with setbacks or failures along the journey of pursuing their dreams? What advice can you give to those that may feel discouraged? Because we get discouraged many times. We feel a lot of setbacks many times. What advice, what tips will you give to such people that may be experiencing a lot of discouragement in this environment where I am now? In the past couple of weeks, say 2 to 3 weeks, I've heard a lot of cases of people that have taken their own lives. And what would cause someone to take their own life is because they get to a point where they feel rejected, they feel there is no hope for the future, and the only thing they can think of is ending it. So for people that may be experiencing, maybe are at that point where they want to give up, what advice can you give to them?
Yeah, for me, one of my goal is there is no going back. Like there is no room for suicide. There's no room. You can be depressed actually, but there is no room to allow the depression to get over you, to take over everything you're aspiring for. I've been to the extreme corner if, in the last 1 year before I came to the US because I was out of job. I was not doing anything. There was no money coming in. There was nothing. Sometimes because I wanted this, I know what I want in life. And so I know that by keeping to myself, by crying alone, cannot solve this problem. So I challenge all my energy into that thing. I want it to be successful. I want it to come out well. So that is my motivation. And when people look down on me, I see that as a motivation. That's what I do. When you say ill words about me, or you say all sorts of things, or you relegate me to the background, you look down on me. It keeps me. I don't want to challenge people. I don't want people to see. I'm not doing it because of anybody. I'm doing it because of myself. So I'm not doing anything to despise anyone or to say, okay, I want to overtake you. No, it's not. That's where competition. I'm not competing with anybody. So when you remove the spirit of competition from anything you're doing, you want to impress yourself first before anybody. If you don't impress yourself, you're not going to impress anybody out there. And like they always say, success has no enemy. That's the fact. It has no enemy. People will look out for you when you make that remarkable step. You just have to keep united by other people's success stories. Yeah, it's good. But what if these people fail at the long run when you're trying to look up to them? What will you do? And so that's why you need to be your motivator. You need to motivate yourself. That thing you believe in. That's my own. I'm not proving anything to you. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. So long I'm doing the right thing, and I think that's it.
I hope someone out there is listening to this. That's some very, very valuable tips that you've given out there. First of all, you need to impress yourself. You're not trying to impress anybody, impress yourself. And then, you begin to look at perspectives, things in different perspectives. I say to people, you're not in a competition with anybody, you're only in a competition with yourself. Excellence is not being better than anyone else. Excellence, the version of excellence that I love to use is that excellence is being better today than you were yesterday. If you have that mindset of excellence in you, what it does is it takes your competition, takes your mind away from other people and puts that mind on yourself. So the only person you are competing against is the you of yesterday. If you can become a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, you're doing excellently, and keep doing that, and you will continue to thrive to get better results. Thank you very much. Now, are there any specific resources, books, any practices, or that whatever, or maybe online resources that you would recommend for those that are interested right now on how to develop better in how to apply this PCR life to develop, get to the kind of life that it is that we want to? Any that you would want to recommend?
Yeah. The truth is that I'm not such a person who reads motivational books. That's just the truth. I'm not a motivational
you read
kind
academic
of person
books as an
motivational books.
academician.
I read. You see, I read. Exactly. I don't read motivational books. It's not like I don't believe in them. Some people believe in them and it works for them. I'm not against it. But for me as a person, I read novels that inspire me. Like I see how women, because I'm passionate about gender, I'm passionate about race, and passionate about immigration. So I read books that align to my area of interest. And so when once I'm intrigued, I don't easily drop them. And I really write things about them. Even when I want to see a movie, I don't just see movies anyhow. I see movies that I can talk about, I can discuss, I can say one or two things about them, and people would want to listen to what they say, because you can see a movie, you're just catching fun. Some people see movie to relax. I don't see movies to relax. I see movies because I want to say something critical about these things. I want to bring out some points about these things, how they relate to the society. That's why I see them. I don't see movies. I can't just sit down and then turn on my TV and say I want to see a movie. I don't do that. So for me, I read books that are of interest, that I know that are aligned with my goals. And some women, if you're a woman, you can look up, read books from. I think there's a recent book from Michelle Obama. It's a very interesting book. Becoming, and the one she just released this year, I think it has to do with lightning or something. I can't remember the title of the book. It's actually, I've not read that one, but Becoming, I've read that one, and it has to do with, it's like, it's a memo, an autobiography, account of our personal experience. If you want to read, if you want to know much how this woman from a low life person became the first lady of America, I think is a huge step for you. It could be, you could read it as a man, is what you want to pick, not whether the person is a man or a woman. It's a lesson you want to pick, and how she was able to make a good wife, a good partner to Barack Obama. Because if you think it's only Obama that did it right there, no, to make things work out the way they should be. You can read works from different, just do things that interest you. Find out your hotspots. Find out what you need to do. Don't just stay stagnant. I hate people when you stay stagnant. You don't want to do anything. You just want to be by yourself and allow manna to form from above. Life doesn't work that way, and life doesn't go that way. So you just have to find something to do, even if it means you doing a little thing like at a time. Keep doing it. You will get better at it.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Now, I know we can't continue this forever, so we're winding this down very, very shortly. But just imagine, right, you woke up one morning and just about everything we knew about Mary Ijeoma Nriagu had disappeared. No one had ever heard about you before. No one knew about all the articles, all the journals, all those things you have written about. No one has ever heard about all those things before. Some crazy thing just happened, and all the things you had done in the past had disappeared, and you had to start to build your life all over again. Where would you start from, and what are you going to do differently this time?
Yeah, I think if I'll start building from the scratch. I don't need to start looking for, if you're down already, all you need to do is to pick up the pieces and try to correct the mistakes. Maybe you think you've made some kind of mistakes that you're not supposed to make, or something. Maybe you've learned, okay, this, because definitely it's something that must have caused all of these things to go down. And so you just have to start from somewhere. You can start from, I believe you starting from somewhere. You just have to start from somewhere. There is no perfect time to start all over. There is no perfect time. Today is another day. If you can't make it up today, ensure that you do it another day. You find yourself doing it. If you're able to be alive the next day, you start off from there. There is no perfect timing for any success in life. There's no perfect timing. There's no perfect timing. That's my belief. You always start off from wherever you find yourself at it. It can be good today and it can be bad tomorrow. If it's bad tomorrow, you just have to put in the maximum effort again. Put in 10 times the effort you had not put in before. It has to be like a double of that thing, and you keep trying. So don't think because you're already down or you can't get better at what you're doing. No, it's not true. It's not true. And we learn every day of our lives. So you learn new things, new stuff every day. You can learn from your friends. You can learn one or two things from people who are close to you. If you cannot learn from people who are close to you, if you see movies, you can learn from, pick the good things out of those things you want to do, and then build on them. The worst thing that can happen to a man is you being dejected, you feeling that, okay, that's the end of the road for you. There's no end of the road. never an end of the road. Nobody knows the end of the road. The road continues. So you keep doing that thing you want to do till the day you die and you're no more. And those things you've done would be remembered, because things you've done in the past could be forgotten with a silly mistake. So you keep building. You don't relent.
Keep building, do not relent. Thank you very much. I hope someone is picking wise words from those things that you just talked about. Thank you very much. So before we let you go, any last words, comments, or thoughts for our viewers that are watching right now?
So what I just want to say is, in life, people don't know what you have gone through. People only see you glow. People only see you when you're successful. And that's why one needs to strive to be successful. You need to build a building block. When I think it was last year or when I was resigning from my place of work, I would like to say this. Before I knew I was going to resign, so I had to go in to have a post-degree diploma in education. And then I started making plans, plan B. You can't get me not having plan B. I have plan A, I have plan B. Because plan A might not work. So I have to switch over to plan B. And you can never get me unawares. It's not possible. There is always something I'm planning this. If this doesn't work, this would work. And don't ever depend on anyone. Don't ever depend on anyone. Don't ever in your life. Don't even, if people tell you they are going to give you this thing, they're going to make it for you, they're going to support you. No, be the support you want. Because you might find it very strange. When you need them, you will not see them. And so that is why you need to be focused. You need you. Because with you, you can do all. That's it.
Thank you very much. Those are some very, very wise words. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been having a conversation with Miss Mary Ijeoma Nriagu. She has poured out of her wealth of experience. She has shared her own personal experiences and experiences of other people that she has worked with as well, and to talk to us about the PCR of life today. There's been so many valuable tips it is that she has dropped from there today, and we appreciate you very much for the time and everything it is that you have given us today. Now, just before I end this webinar, for those that are hearing for the very first time, I don't know if you're here for the first time, then I'm wondering what part of the planet it is that you have been on. But we are having what is known as the Impact Leadership Conference. The Impact Leadership Conference, I'll just show you that very quickly. It's holding on Saturday, the 1st of July. Saturday, the 1st of July is when this is holding, and it's a hybrid event. So even though it's holding physically in the city of Dublin, it is a hybrid event, so you can join from any part of the world it is that you are. And as you can see there, we have amazing speakers that will be speaking to us at the conference. So we're going to have Mr. Alec Drew. Alec Drew is a businessman with over 40 years experience that has done hundreds of millions of euros in Ireland. We also have Emma O'Neill. We have Nigel McConnell. We have Siobhan Sweeney. We have Adebola Olomo. We have Alison Gilliland, who is the immediate past Lord Mayor of Dublin City. We have a host of people that will be speaking to us, and you don't want to miss this. All you have to do to be a part of this is secure your registration. It's a complimentary ticket, so you don't need to make any payment for that, but you need to register to be a part of that. So check around my socials, find the link around, or send me a DM if you need that link, and you'll be able to get access to that link. And we will be more than glad to have you at the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very, very wonderful time. Thank you very much, Miss Mary, for the wonderful time it is that you have shared with us. And I look forward to seeing every one of you the next time. But before I let you go, remember, there is greatness on your inside, and the world is waiting for you to birth and manifest that greatness. Go out there and be profitable, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.